So what does revenge look like in basketball? Is it a hard foul, a stare down, a game winner? Or is it 45 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals, torching every defensive coverage you could possibly throw at somebody in the very same building where you once promised a ring? This wasn't just another regular season game. Games like this carved themselves into basketball history. Nights where the court just feels different, the air feels heavier than it used to be, and the stakes are higher than they usually are. Games like that remind us the NBA is not just a business. KD returning to OKC after the biggest betrayal in NBA history. Shaq versus Kobe on Christmas Day, from brothers to Cold War enemies. LeBron's return to Cleveland, where even breathing got booed. And of course, Kobe's last game, 60 points. One last flamethrower before the curtains closed forever. Most regular season games, they vanish, forgotten by next week, unless someone drops 70 or hits a 60-point triple-double. But my personal favorites, the homecoming games. And we just witnessed one for the ages. Because if you had said 2 months ago that this would happen, Luka Doncic in a Lakers jersey playing against the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas, you'd get laughed off the internet, probably thrown into a Reddit conspiracy thread somewhere between the earth is flat discussion and the league being rigged for LeBron's legacy. It was February 3rd, the night everything flipped. Luka Doncic, the face of the Mavericks for 7 years, wakes up in Los Angeles wearing purple and gold. How does that even happen? This guy bought a house in Dallas like last week. He literally became a dad last season. He promised to stay forever and bring a ring to the city of Dallas. And now, he suited up against the very same franchise that didn't even give him a heads up. And before we talk about the biggest backstabbing in NBA history, homecoming games, and how Luka's game ranks amongst those, let's thank today's sponsor, me. That's right, this video is sponsored by a slightly bitter 28-year-old NBA fan who once dreamed to hoop at the highest level until a series of bad decisions and reality had other plans. So like, comment, and subscribe to help me get my life around. Alright, back to the biggest backstab since the Red Wedding. Tension had been bubbling for a while. Luka's trusted circle began to disappear. Casey Smith, the longtime head athletic trainer, gone. Jeremy Holsample, the strength coach overseeing his performance, also gone. So Luka brought in his own people. Trusted names from Real Madrid, Slovenian trainers, a personal nutritionist. The Mavericks didn't love that. It looked like he was building his own ecosystem. Suddenly, questions started to surface. Then came 2 injuries in 3 months, the second, the worst of his career. And just like that, the same guy who had just averaged 34 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds was being questioned. Is he really built for this? Does he have the work ethic to be an all-time great? Can you win a championship with Luka Doncic as your franchise player? Nico Harrison decided he had his answer and pulled the plug. This wasn't just any player. Luka was 25, fresh off an NBA Finals run. Most teams would offer him part ownership, a lifetime contract, a statue before retirement. Dallas shipped him off like spoiled milk. 2 months later, the Lakers are rolling, just about to lock up the 3rd seed in the West. The Mavericks hanging on to a play-in dream by dental floss. And now we're here. Luka Doncic back in Dallas, wearing the colors of a rival, purple, gold, and soaked in betrayal. We've seen this before, players returning to their old teams. Some cheered, some booed, some ignored. But what did they actually do on the court? We broke it down. 23 of the most iconic NBA revenge games, and charted them by game score, a stat that tells us exactly how efficient a player was in a single game. Some came back and lit it up. Some folded under the pressure. Isaiah Thomas in Boston, negative 1.1, the only negative performance on the list. Sure, it was just 7 minutes and 3 seasons after he actually left, but still, yikes. Paul George in Indiana, 5.7, a classic playoff P performance. James Harden in Houston, 6.5, setting the tone for his future playoff resume. Michael Jordan back in Chicago with the Wizards, 15. Grandpa Mike visiting the house he once built. Kevin Garnett the big ticket with solid but slightly disappointing 18.4. Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan, similar game scores, mostly love and standing ovations. Kevin Durant in OKC, 24.3, the famous cupcake game. LeBron James in Cleveland, 32.5, a king returning to his old castle. Kyrie Irving in Boston, 33.7, dropping 37 and stepping on Lucky the Leprechaun. Kareem in Milwaukee, 34.9, an all-time great doing all-time great things. Dwight Howard in Orlando, 37.4, including a 39 and 18 performance. Donovan Mitchell leads the pack, 41.8 game score, 46 points. So where does Luka's homecoming game rank among these? Well, what do you expect from an all-time great playoff performer? A guy with the second highest scoring average in postseason history, who went from barely holding back tears during his introduction to flipping the switch and showcasing actual superhuman ability. He dropped 45 points, 31 by halftime, while the player he was traded for had 4. And every time Luka touched the ball, the crowd cheered loudly. It wasn't just respect, it was love. Dallas never stopped loving him, and this game made it clear he should never have been traded. Sometimes doing nothing is harder than doing something. At least that's what Nico Harrison thought. But this trade, still completely unbelievable. A move that already looked questionable at the time is now unfolding exactly how everyone expected it might. And with the playoffs around the corner and Luka getting healthier by the day, ready to make another deep playoff run, it's only going to look worse. So if you're still wondering what basketball revenge really looks like, this might be the start of the Luka special blueprint.